Hi, this is SlimezFarmer from KingdomCraft Survival Server. I was just wanting to do a series on Redstone videos, just to sort of go over everything that Redstone does, how it works, do's and don'ts, and sort of slowly work up into sort of making your own projects in Redstone. For those who don't know Redstone, this is basically just going over everything. For those who know some or want to know a little bit more, you can start from the start. I mean, you may make common mistakes and things and want to see what they might be, but basically this is just going to go right from the basics. So this is Redstone, as in the Redstone dust that you mine. You can turn that into Redstone blocks. I've got all the other components, well, most of the other components of Redstone all loaded up, ready to go. But basically I'm just going to start. This particular one will just be Redstone. I'll probably use a few other components just to demonstrate what the Redstone actually does and its limitations. So basically, Redstone just carries Redstone signal, so your Redstone dust, Redstone lamp or torch is your power source. You can also use Redstone blocks. So basically, Redstone will carry a signal up to 15 blocks. That's pretty much its signal strength from 0 to 15. If I was to put repeaters down here, I won't go into all these at this stage, I'll just quickly pull this down. You'll see at some point that one won't go. So to demonstrate, I'll just quickly do, actually that's not the best way to do it. I'll just quickly put this up just as a bit of a demonstration. So for example, that's 15, the strength of 15 all the way through, so this last one will be 15. If I was to put another lamp there, obviously it's not going to go because this repeater isn't on. If I wanted to make the signal carry on further, you just put a repeater at number 15, at strength 15, and then carry on for another 15. Basically, if you want to go a long distance with Redstone, the easiest way to do it is to just basically place the Redstone line, go to where it stops, and then throw on another repeater and keep on going down and doing that. Some common mistakes, well, you can't really go too far wrong actually with just the Redstone line. I mean, you're just carrying on a signal, but you got to make sure, like if you're carrying that signal all the way down, if your circuit at the start doesn't do 15, isn't outputting a power of 15, it's not going to make it. So this Redstone line will no longer work. So you may have a project and you want to carry the Redstone down. It's not actually outputting the right signal strength, and then you're wondering why whatever's not working down the other end of your project, just because something's changed or something's been missed, or maybe a Redstone line isn't right, or a chest isn't full enough. There's many different things. Some other things with Redstone lines, basically you can have a Redstone line running along. It has a power source, also a Redstone block. It's powering that one line. Then you might want some other lines going across, so you can actually just do something like this, and that will work. Say that you want to get, oops, a bit tricky, right? So that Redstone line does not get powered from the one underneath it. So that's fine. So that'll work. You can have something powering this Redstone line going the opposite direction. um, and these two will not interact with each other, so that's fine. But if you were to go along here and then go, oh, that's signal strength. For example, if you went up to here, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So if you went to full 15 and you get down there, and basically that's not enough to carry on powering, so you think, oh yeah, I'll just put a repeater in. So repeaters pretty much just boost the signal strength back up to what they were. Now if you do that, then you are powering the line underneath because of this block. It doesn't matter if this redstone's on top or not, it's going to power pretty much everything around it. So we'll get into that a bit later on, but that's just one thing. So what you need to do is basically put a repeater further down here, then you could carry the redstone line over, and maybe put another one about here to carry that on. Well, not that one, but so another repeater. So that basically carries that redstone line over, and it still allows this one to go through. So I mean, I could put another redstone line underneath, I could go over top, I can put another one here. I could even, if I wanted to, put one in there. See, redstone, if you do that, obviously goes down to the one below, and if I was to carry that down, that's still going to go underneath. And if I put one here, it's going to carry across over the top, and so on and so on. But you can separate it with solid blocks. So do that, and then that redstone line is still separate. That can carry on. There's a separate redstone line down here, which would need to separate by doing that. So you have the one underneath now. And that is actually going down to this one, so that could go that way. So we could bring that out. That line there, we could go up, over, and it's still all separate. Maybe you want that one to go up higher to something like a light, who knows. So that's still fine. I haven't put one on here because that'll just interfere with pretty much everything. So basically I can put a torch on that one. So that should power up that one there and go through and come out the other side. And now I've connected it to that by mistake. So yeah, so I mean, if you're building a project, it's probably easiest to have torches and just experiment with the redstone going, so you can see if it does cross over when you're building a project, so you can fix it straight away. Because if you build a big project that gets complicated like this, like some of the counters and things that I've done in the past, you end up with a redstone crossing over all over the place. It gets quite complicated to figure out where it's crossing over if you don't have all the redstone lines activated at the time. So you basically would activate that one, then maybe cut that one off, make sure that's the only one that's working, and of course we've got a torch down here, so get rid of that. That's fine. So you can activate that one, drop that one, and just go around and make sure nothing's crossing over. So at the moment I've got like 4 individual redstone lines going through here at the moment that are totally independent from each other. Now another thing you can do, if you want to go up, there's various ways to do it, but I'll show you. Like if you want to go up to another level, you can basically do it with glass. Redstone does not get obstructed by glass, so basically, well, there are some limitations, but so if I was to do this and put glass over the top of that, redstone can pass through there still. It doesn't stop it at all. So you got to remember solid blocks for stopping redstone. So basically with this, if I was to start down the bottom, redstone signal going in, and you want that redstone to go up, you basically break the blocks and pass that redstone signal up as you go. And then at some point, the same principle, it still only goes 15, but it's a little bit different with this because you're going upward. So easiest way, so you basically stagger those, just keep going up until the redstone fades out, which is pretty much there. If you wanted to carry that signal on, the easiest way to do it is to put a solid block in and then use a torch or a repeater, depending on what you want. If you're going up a long way, you can use torches, and the torches will basically turn off from each one. So there, how to explain this? So the basics are with torches. If you have a torch and you have a redstone line, so you got that redstone block, the torch on top, and you carry a redstone line to that block, it powers it, then the torch will go off. So what you need, if you want that redstone line to carry on being turned on, you need another torch that does the opposite. So if you break that, they alternate. So the basics are, if you're going up here and you use a torch to stop this or to extend this signal, you need another torch further up to continue it on. So in this one, for example, I'd probably break that. It's enough to make that go. You can put another block on top of that one, and then if I was to break this, then this one will go on, power that block, and then continue the redstone signal at 15. So then I could go up another however many blocks. But at the end of this, if you want that to be on, I'll just demonstrate quickly. It takes a little bit when you're doing this all on the fly. So basically, you come up here, that's currently on. But if you want it to be the same state as the bottom, you need another redstone torch to continue that on. So you can go like, that's the easiest way, probably just another block. Another torch. Actually done that wrong. Probably saw what I did wrong there. So it needs to be running into the block, not on top. All I did then was just feed the redstone back down from the torch. So the basics are, then you would, maybe your project's up the top here, you've got another redstone thing that you want to power. You can either run redstone out from it, you can we'll do this on another side. So that's running redstone out. You could hide it, so you could build around that and have that torch underneath, and then basically anything that runs out from that block, it would be on top of it. We'll put a line up there, will be powered. So basically that redstone will get powered, that redstone will get powered, anything that runs into this block will be powered, and also this line will be powered because it's coming off the torch. But if you had a project where you didn't want to necessarily see the redstone, you can do something like that, and then maybe run the redstone off the back of that block. Just really what you need for the project, I suppose. So then to turn that on, because that's reversed, basically just run that. That goes up, switches this one off, which in turn allows this one to turn on and powers everything up top. So there's other ways to do it, like I said. Like if you wanted this, you don't want any of this redstone to be activated, basically you would put repeaters in here. I can show you other ways of doing this, but pretty much, I don't know what's the easiest way to do this. You'd probably put glass this way, then a couple of blocks. I'm just trying to think the best way to do it. Probably like that would probably be the easiest way. And then basically you repeat that back on itself. So you go that way, and then just carry on up the chain. Doesn't really matter that that's going back over, it's just boosting the signal. So that will get to the repeater, carry on back up. Actually this won't work because it's actually feeding back, so it creates like a redstone loop, if you see what I did wrong there. So basically that's redstone signal comes up, gets to that, goes back around and creates like a little loop, so that'll never turn off, as you can see. So you need to separate that out so that it's only going up there, and the way you do that, just take that out and replace it with a solid block, and then probably the easiest way, will that still work? I don't know, I don't think that will. Probably just step that up, to be honest. Like I said, I'm sort of doing all this on the fly, so it's not I think I need a better design than that, but you get the general idea. Probably needs to come out this way, so it would be a repeater off there into a block, and then continue up from that, so it's nowhere near the other part. Something like that. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but that'll work. That'll be better than the other one I had where it's reversing around. I don't know if I might be sort of getting a bit too far ahead, but that's that sort of gets right up. It's turning that off, and the redstone's still got signal there. So all this repeater does is extend the signal. So I'm just extending it up rather than flat, whereas this one here, if I was to do that, you've got a signal strength up to 15. Need to put it there, so this goes to 15 and then carries on. Another 15, another 15, another 15. The only difference is I've gone up. I haven't quite gone to 15. I think I cut it a little bit short, but just making sure that I definitely had the redstone signal. So with this, this is good for a lot of farms and maybe hiding redstone up a building. There's other ways to do it as well, using pistons and various things as well to extend redstone signal. But that'll be, I can sort of cover off that later in other videos. What other things do you need to know? Redstone lines. Slabs is another way to get redstone signal up. So I'm sort of just trying to keep away from repeaters as much as I can and all the rest of it, because we'll cover all that off later. The repeaters are really here just to show you the extension of redstone, so I don't want to get too complicated with this one at this stage. But basically, if you had a slab like that, we'll do this a different way. If you had a line of redstone, like so, line of redstone on there, that's powered from a torch or a block or whatever other circuit you've got going on, and you want that to go up, you can basically put a slab there, not quite there, but so you can have a slab going like that. If you put redstone on that slab, it continues on because it's still within the block, but you've got an air gap, which means you can still run redstone underneath it. So that redstone's strong enough to run a torch, a lamp or redstone device there, and also there. If I break that one, it's powering that individually. Break that one, and it's still, yeah. So that's one way to get multiple circuits, and they will not. So basically, if I was to break that block, that no longer works. Extend that on. It's a bit of a pain to do this in survival mode, especially if you're trying to go up a long way. I've done a few projects with these, and it can be a bit of a pain to get them. So pretty much you could go from there, and if you do that and that, well, this is going to be a bit of a pain to do too. So the basics are, you want another redstone line going the other way. You put another one there like that. So you're using the bottom of the next block, basically the bottom half, and you can carry that redstone signal on the other way, and you can keep on doing that until the signal strength drops down. So I can put another one there, and have another torch, or redstone lamp I should say, sitting up there. Break that block, and that just carries on. So I could do another redstone lamp, put one there, and there. So that's another way to get redstone. So with that, you can, I mean, you don't have to go that way. You can also run off this way. You might put something, you might put another one there. The only thing you got to watch is you don't, if you fill this block, then of course the redstone signal is going to jump across between those as well, so you got to watch that. So that's a mistake you can easily make. So yeah, so keep one gap distance, one block distance between all redstone if you're doing this method. The other way you can do it, I guess, would be to put blocks in there. It doesn't need it, but if you're doing a project and it's up quite high and you need a way to get around it easy, then you may need to put some stepping blocks and stuff in between. So I mean, that's basically it. I mean, you can have redstone line coming off this way, and then you might have some more redstone contraptions or whatever at the end of those. Remember, that's all still being powered off just the one torch, so that's just another method of getting redstone to different levels. So I mean, you can use a combination of this, that, these, and that's just redstone lines basically. So now next video I'll go through probably repeaters and observers. No, not observers, sorry, comparators. That'll be the next thing. Actually, I'll go through the redstone block on this one as well a little bit. So the difference, some things with redstone. What other things do you need to know? So basically, if you have a redstone line and you had some blocks at the end of it, like so, like that, and then you power this, the only block that'll be powered up is this one here. The other blocks, just get the signal is just ignored basically, so it doesn't pass on. The redstone signal will only go into the block that's directly in front of the redstone line. If you were to put a redstone signal to the top of that, and to the top of this one for example, then the redstone signal goes both ways to both those blocks. So if the redstone signal is on top of a block, it powers that block, but only lightly, so it's only a small signal going into that block. So for example, if you put lamps beside that, redstone lamps beside that, it won't power these, it'll only power the one that is in the middle. But it's different if you were to put a redstone line out here, and that redstone line goes to this block. It classes this, you just think you can put redstone lamps anywhere around this and they're all going to power up. So you can power 3 lamps with one line, doing it that way. As soon as you put a block in behind, it'll only power the one. So that's quite handy if you yeah, so you'd have, you can't, another thing you can't do if you were to go like that and you think, oh yeah, I'll just power up all 3 behind there, and you go and put a line out again, it's because the line, because that line isn't running straight into the block, it won't power anything on the other side. But yeah, there's other things that come into it as well, but the basics are, yeah, see, even the lamps, nothing basically will be powered from a redstone line that is running alongside it. That's not true with all things. Like if you run a redstone line along pistons, it will actually power it. There's some quirky things with, so if I was to put pistons along there, it does power all of those because it creates a redstone line to them, because it's an actual redstone device. So I'm not sure why the lamps don't work that way, but it's just how it's been done. So yeah, so they work totally different. So I mean, that's pretty much that. It's redstone blocks. So the difference with a redstone block, a redstone line, redstone block and torch, I should say. Redstone torch, how to explain this? So redstone torch, if you put a block on top of a torch, it will power the block on top. So if I just put that there because it's powered, it doesn't matter where those are, they all get turned off. Do that, they turn back on. So this block here essentially is powered from that torch. It doesn't matter what you put on it, it's going to be powered. It'll be full signal strength because it's a torch underneath for full strength. But if you do the same thing with a block, if I was to do that, it doesn't matter what I do with that, nothing will be powered. That's just a block. Doesn't do anything. But so basically, if you want to power anything with a redstone block, it needs to be directly beside. So I mean, you can make some pretty cool lamps and things with these. You just cover that in lamps. Now it'll only power the one block beside it in any direction. It's very handy redstone, so that you don't get crossover with redstone lines. If you're having trouble getting to a position or whatever with redstone, or it's a tight squeeze, or you're in between a whole bunch of redstone, as long as this block doesn't run past other redstone or anything like that, then it will actually work fine. But if you do something like this and there's redstone running past, it just continually activates because there's redstone getting powered into that, which is just powering the piston. So you'll be a bit careful. So you can't just run redstone lines all over the place next to these blocks. What you would do, basically, if you wanted to use this, you'd have that, you put a redstone line coming out for it, or a repeater, or whatever other device you want it to be powered. You'd basically do that and then have something to power the piston. So basically a redstone contraption or something to activate that piston, that'd go up, and then in turn that activates the redstone line. Yeah, so that's what they're used for, but it's getting a bit further ahead at the moment. So I mean, that's probably pretty much covers most things I can think of. I'm sort of doing all this on the fly, so it might be a little bit hit and miss with some of it, but basically that's the basics of the redstone lines. Most common things when I started that I did wrong was I'd get a block wrong, or or I wouldn't see that something underneath is being powered from somewhere and it shouldn't have been, or and one mistake on a redstone line on a big sort of machine that you've made, and the whole thing breaks. In quite a lot of instances it causes quite a bit of damage, so you got to go back to square one and start making it all again, and can be quite painful. But yeah, so that's probably basically it for the redstone. Can't think of anything else at this point. So the next video I'll do probably repeaters and comparators, I think, will be the one, and there'll be a bit of redstone blocks and some other bits and pieces I need to demonstrate those as well. There's a lot of redstone components, even some that you probably wouldn't think put out redstone, like cake, which I only learnt recently can be used in redstone. It's quite effective for certain things. There's the target blocks, whole bunch of things which, and lecterns, and yeah, there's lots of different things which put out redstone signals, including item frames. There's other things in here which I haven't actually got in there, which armor stands and that can be used with redstone. There's lots of things. Anyway, that's the end of this first video. I'll try and do all these as some pretty quick, make them all fairly close together, and try and get as many videos out as I can, and just sort of go through, and maybe there's some questions about certain things with the redstone, but that's probably all I can think of at this stage for the redstone line. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. That's probably pretty much it. Right, I'll leave it at that, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, bye.